Before we get started, I wanted to let everyone know that we're using a new feature in Zoom that allows us to have separate audio channels for Spanish and Hmong interpreters who will do live interpretation during our presentation today. You can select these channels by clicking on the interpretation button at the bottom of your screen. For Spanish, please select the Spanish option. Unfortunately, Zoom has not added channels for all languages yet, so please select Chinese to hear our Hmong interpreters. So please take advantage of those features if you'd like to today, and thank you to our live interpreters.
Good afternoon, and welcome to our first College of Science and Mathematics Family Partnership Conference. First, we would like to congratulate all of our incoming students on reaching this significant milestone in your lives. And we're excited to be part of this next stage of your educational journey. We would also like to thank all the families that are joining us with your students today. Your participation demonstrates your commitment to help your students to be successful, and your continued involvement will be critical in helping them to successfully achieve their educational and career goals.
We are proud to be here today as your host. I'm Mara Brady. I'm a faculty member here in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences, and I also teach in the Bond first year experience. So some of you saw me the last 2 days and will see me in class next week. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I attended college in Minnesota and graduate school in Illinois. So I'm excited to be living and working in Fresno now, where I appreciate the mild winters and the friendly people. I love working with the students at Fresno State because they're all passionate about helping others and serving their community.
And I am Alejandro Calderon from the Department of Biology, and I know there is a lot of biology majors out there. And this semester I will be teaching classes in plant biology and molecular biology. Like us, all of the faculty in the college are excited to be welcoming you to the college and to be supporting you in your growth as the next generation of scientists and mathematicians. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm originally from Colombia in South America, and the first of a large family to go to college. I moved to the United States after completing my master's degree in Belgium, then finished my PhD at Yale University and moved to the Bay Area, where I lived for a couple of years before moving to Fresno in 1997. I love the Central Valley, particularly because of all the natural beauty around and the outstanding students I've had the privilege to work with over the years.
Our goal today is to begin to forge a strong partnership between faculty and staff in the college and you, the families of our majors. We all want the same thing for our students to successfully complete their degrees and to develop skills and experience to go on to rewarding careers that will improve the lives of their families and our communities. We want to work together with you to support our students in achieving their goals, and we have a lot to learn from each other on how best we can do this. We hope you'll leave today's conference with a better understanding of what your new college student will experience in their first year, how to connect with the resources that are available to support our students, and with some practical ways to do that as they adjust to college life. We hope you are inspired and excited by the possibilities of where your students' continuing education will lead, and we hope you have a good time and some fun today.
We have a great program for you today with some really dynamic and inspiring presenters. We will begin in a moment with a welcome from our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Saul Jimenez Sandoval. Then the Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics, Dr. Chris Mayer, will provide a brief overview of some of the great things going on in our college, both inside and outside the classroom, that help our students to develop into the next generation of leaders in science and math fields. Next, Dr. Ray Rodriguez, a proud Bulldog from Kerman, will talk about how he used his Fresno State education as a launching pad to a career in biotechnology that has transformed the discipline and benefited countless lives. Dr. Gregory Lomack will then provide insights on what to expect as your students transition into college and strategies that we can put into practice together to help them thrive. We will hear from a panel of some current students about their experiences, and they will give some advice to our new CSM families and answer some of your questions. We will end with some final thoughts from the Dean and provide some information on what is coming up with the family partnership in the coming months. Remember, today's conference is just the beginning.
Before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping notes similar to Dog Days. This is a Zoom webinar, which means we cannot see or hear our participants. If you do want to ask questions, please use the Q&A feature by clicking on the button at the bottom of your screen. And I see that some of you have already started to do that, which is great. We are not going to be using the chat feature, so please don't ask your questions there today. And we will save all of the questions posed and answered and answers given to make sure that these are available for our CSM families also.
We have a small team that will be monitoring the questions that you pose, and we will answer as many of them as we can live. We will invite our presenters to address some of these questions, time permitting, and we'll follow up with posts on our family partnership website that answer any questions that we won't have time to get to or unable to answer today.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Saul Jimenez Sandoval, and invite him to say a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Brady, and thank you all for joining us today. I think, I'm so excited to see all of these names on the chat, to see all of your majors and to see all of your places, all of these places that are all around the Valley, and to see that you're joining us in this great college of science and mathematics. I'm Saul Jimenez Sandoval. I'm the Provost at Fresno State, and I'm in charge of all the academics at Fresno State, and all the teaching also comes to me as well. When I see all of you, I see all of your names here. I see future scientists and mathematicians that are going to change the world. And I also see future scientists and mathematicians with big dreams, very creative backgrounds, and very diverse points of view. And that's exactly why we want you here at Fresno State. You are joining a great, great college with incredibly dedicated faculty, like Dr. Brady and Dr. Calderon Urrea, and your dean, Chris Meyer. He is truly spectacular. All of your faculty and your dean and your associate dean, Alam Hassan, what do they have in common? They have in common that they have the student focus. They are truly student focused. Why? They want to give you experiences with hands-on experiences as undergraduates. They want you to practice your skills that you learn in the classroom in the actual lab. They want you to become involved. They want you to become informed with your advisors, your academic advisors. So your professors and your dean, they're focused on your success, and they're focused on your success not just in this very abstract sort of way that most people think of as scientists. These are human beings who are international. They're nationally renowned, but they have chosen to be here in the Valley. They have chosen to dedicate their life here to Fresno State so that they can impact you, so that they can influence you to become the amazing scientists and mathematicians that you are meant to be. To the parents who are listening on this call, I tell you the following: support your scientist, support your mathematician. It's not an easy career, but it's a very rewarding career. It's the career that opens gates of opportunity for your graduate. It's a career that has some of the highest job placements out there in the market. And it's a career that's ready for you. Because right now, during this pandemic, what do we need? We need to buckle down and study. We need to prepare. We need to get that degree from Fresno State. We need to walk across that stage with that degree as a scientist or a mathematician. And we're going to cheer you on when that happens. And when you do walk across that stage with your diploma, what's going to happen? You're going to go out into the world and you're going to change the world. You're going to impact the world. Because what I see with you is I see this culturally diverse, sensitive group of individuals who have grown up in the 9th most diverse region in the entire United States. You're very unique. You're very prepared to take on the world. You're very prepared to go on with your life, get on that job market, nail that job market, and at the end, get a job. So I have 3 things for you. Number 1, that helped me when I was an undergraduate at UC Irvine. Number 1, you need the passion for life that you have right now needs to meet your passion for your talents. And then at the end, your talents plus your passion for life equals that profession that's going to be productive and that's going to lead you to a happy life. You need to balance out where you are as far as where your life is and where your talents are, and then what it is that you want to do, how it is that you want to apply these talents for the rest of your life in a career that's rewarding to you, where you don't think it's a job, where you think you're having fun all the time. That's what you want. So number 1, passion for life equates your talents, which are going to then give you that really awesome career that's going to make you happy for the rest of your life. Number 2, learn to be flexible. Be an optimist. Are you going to encounter defeat? Yes, you are. Will you encounter roadblocks? Yes, you will. We all do. We have all done that. We can all give you stories upon stories upon stories of roadblocks and defeats and being told no over and over and over. But in this, you need to bounce back. How do you bounce back? You do it with 2 ways. Number 1, on a personal level, you need to love yourself. You need to cherish yourself. You need to be thankful for the present moment that you have to become a scientist, to become a mathematician. You need to reach out to your friends and to your family. This is your personal inner circle. This is a personal inner circle that helps you navigate the murky waters, that helps you navigate the storms, and at the end, helps you reach that dry land. Personal level, reach out to your network. On a professional level, what do? If you encounter defeat, if you encounter a roadblock, reach out to your academic advisors. I know that Dr. Jaime Arvizu is here and he's listening to all of this. He is leading a professional team of academic advisors that will help you pass any class. There isn't a single class at Fresno State that you are not capable of passing with the right tools. Are you having difficulty with a class? Then reach out to your academic advisors, reach out to your tutoring center and get tutoring, and you will make it. So professionally speaking, reach out to the academic advisors, reach out to your professors. Again, they're approachable, they're collaborative, they're hands-on, they're experienced scientists, they're experienced mathematicians that want you to succeed. That's why they are here. This is why they have made Fresno State their life. So if you encounter a roadblock, personal, reach out to your circle of friends, your family. On a professional level, your professors and your academic advisors. So number 3, this is a journey. This is an exciting journey. I can remember being 18 years old and being at UC Irvine as a freshman and feeling completely overwhelmed because I graduated from Fowler High School. And back then, Fowler High School was a really small school. My graduating class had about 84 students, and we were, a pretty small town as well. And I felt like I was a small fish in a big pond. But soon I began to realize the following. It was a journey of discovery. It was a journey of who I was going to become. And each and every day that came to me, I started to enjoy the days. I started to enjoy the new experiences, the new people whom I was meeting, and the new exciting subjects that I was learning. And this is going to happen to you as well. You're going to be in a class one of these days, and then suddenly your professor is going to be lecturing, and she's going to be lecturing about, you know, something that's really exciting to her, and in which she has spent her entire life, you know, researching. And then there's going to be a flash of lightning, and in that moment, you're going to say to yourself, "I'm going to become that. I'm going to become her. I want to be like her. I want to be a scientist just like her, or a mathematician just like her." It is this moment in which your journey takes a different orientation, because now you know exactly what you want. This is the moment in which you get your passion for life. You reach out to your friends, you reach out to your family, you reach out to your professors, you reach out to your counselors, and you say to yourself, "I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it across the stage. I'm going to get that diploma. I'm going to become a scientist. I'm going to become a mathematician, and I'm going to give it my best, because I owe it to myself. I owe it to my family. I owe it to my community, and I owe it really to humanity." So with that, welcome to Fresno State. You're in great, great hands. Your dean, your professors, they're incredible professionals who are here for you, and I'm really glad to welcome all of you. So thanks for listening to me, and reach out if I can ever be of any assistance to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Provost Jimenez Sandoval, for those wonderful words of encouragement and also some practical advice. And I'm certainly hoping that our students and their families, our new students, our new family from the College of Science and Mathematics are taking note. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Chris Mayer, Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics, to talk about some of the incredible programs and opportunities for our students within the college.
Great, thank you, Alejandro, and thank you, Provost Jimenez Sandoval. As Dean, it is a great honor to lead one of the 8 colleges that make up this outstanding university. It's been a fantastic experience working with the talented and enthusiastic administration, faculty, staff, and students at Fresno State. I'm also happy to share that I've walked in your shoes as I graduated from our sister campus, Chico State, with a degree in chemistry a couple of years ago. I came from a small rural town in Northern California, not too different and not too far away from the Central Valley. And it was a wonderful choice to attend at Cal State. My experience as a student provided excellent preparation to go on to graduate school at UC Riverside in biochemistry and advanced training as a postdoctoral scholar at Michigan State in biotechnology. I served as a faculty member and chair at another sister campus, Cal State Fullerton, for many years, and as a program director for the National Science Foundation. Congratulations on your decision to attend Fresno State. I have had the opportunity to work with educators, researchers, students from all over the country, and I'm very proud to say that I would not trade our administration, our faculty and students for anybody else's. You are now part of a vibrant and diverse community committed to your development and success. The College of Science and Mathematics consists of 7 departments, 22 undergraduate and graduate degree programs with over 4,000 majors who are guided and taught by over 250 faculty and staff, all dedicated to helping our students achieve their goals and dreams. Our hands-on approach will provide you with the technical, critical thinking, and communication skills that are so essential for exciting 21st century science, technology, engineering, and mathematics careers, and that spells STEM. A degree from our college opens up the doors to many amazing and rewarding career paths. Some you will already be familiar with, while others will represent new and exciting opportunities. Often the job title may not be chemist or mathematician, but employers are looking for graduates for skills developed in our majors. Take some time to explore what your student can do with their degrees, and students as well, as there are so many great options. Our expertise spans mathematical, physical, biological, and behavioral sciences. While our disciplines are diverse, We are all driven by our curiosity to understand the world and to make it a better place. We need more STEM graduates for national health, progress, and economic prosperity. We are a networked community, and by bringing together our diverse expertise, backgrounds, and experiences, we're able to comprehend and appreciate the world and solve complex problems in ways that would be impossible in isolation. These challenges include those relating to food, energy, water, health, and the environment, all of vital importance to the Central Valley and the world. Many of the scientists and mathematicians that started their careers at Fresno State are creating solutions to these problems now. Ray Rodriguez, who I'm very fortunate to have as one of my mentors, is an amazing example of what our talented students from every corner of the valley are capable of. Tackling these big problems may feel something very distant and difficult and beyond the grasp of students just starting their college careers, but many of the students attending this conference will be doing just that within a few years, and many will be making significant impacts while they're still students here. Many of our students are co-authors on published papers and presenters at national and international conferences. Makes them very attractive candidates for graduate schools, professional schools, and top industry positions. To be able to do this, your preparation involves more than just taking classes, exams, preparing homework, completing homework assignments. As students, you will be engaged in the process of doing real-life, hands-on research in the classroom, lab, and community, and will develop the knowledge, skills, and experiences valued by employers and that are critical for the success of our region. This requires time and commitment from our students and their families and can be very challenging, but the payoff is enormous. Please know that you are not in this alone. We are here to help, and today is the beginning of a great partnership that will support our majors in every step along the way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean Meyer. As you can see, we have a great team of leaders and faculty and staff here to support you and your students in their college career. Next, it is my honor to welcome Dr. Ray Rodriguez, a professor of molecular and cellular biology at UC Davis, to tell us about how his training at Fresno State laid the foundation for a distinguished career in science.
Can you hear me, Mara?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that kind introduction. Yeah, it's my pleasure and honor to share with you today some thoughts I have about how you as students and your families can make the most out of your Fresno State experience. You've already heard some great words from the Provost and from Dean Meyer. So I'll just add a little bit, sort of a personal twist on some of these comments. I have a little section, a couple of words I want to say to the families and the parents, because they make a huge impact on whether or not the students are going to achieve their wildest dreams or whether they're going to fumble and fall and not achieve their heart's desires. So parents play a big role in that. So just as an outline of what I want to talk about today, is it's a little bit about me. I have 3 little vignettes about my experiences, which I think underscore and kind of reinforce what we've already heard from the Provost and Dean Meyer. And then I want to mention something for the families, and then I'll just summarize my main points at the end. So first, a little bit of information about me. I am a scientist, I am a professor, an inventor, an entrepreneur. And over 40 years, I've researched important questions in biological sciences. I've taught genetics and molecular biology to over 5,000 students from all over the state and the nation, and now the world. They're coming to California. I started companies that apply my knowledge and my technologies and my inventions for the betterment of humankind. My program that I run right now is entitled Harnessing the Power of Biotechnology for Human and Planetary Health. So I've also had the good fortune to mentor hundreds of students, many of whom have become best friends. Most of these students, however, did not choose paths as professors and scientists, but rather they became teachers and nurses, doctors, lawyers, government employees, businessmen, and businesswomen. One of my most favorite mentees, as you now know, is Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics here at Fresno State. Most importantly, all of these individuals started their careers with a Bachelor's of Science or a Bachelor's of Arts degree. As for me, I'm the son of migrant farm workers from the Central Valley and a first-generation college graduate. I was born in San Joaquin, grew up in Kerman, and have relatives in Mendota, Tranquility, Madera, Fresno, and Visalia. Fresno State was a convenient and affordable opportunity for someone with limited resources, but plenty of energy, determination, and an inquisitive mind. I've always dreamed about being a scientist, and my high school teachers told me that the first step in becoming a scientist to get my bachelor's degree, which fortunately was available nearby at Fresno State. I arrived at Fresno State in the fall of 1967, excited about what I was going to find, but in a matter of weeks, I encountered what I've called now the three fears: the fear of failing, the fear of rejection, and the fear of ridicule. Others have called this the imposter syndrome. So regarding that fear of failing, I encountered this fear one evening when I went to the library to study for my first exam at Fresno State. It was my physics exam. I found a quiet place upstairs where I could study. I opened my physics book and was immediately overwhelmed with the thought, I can't do this. I'll never understand this stuff. I'm not cut out to be a scientist. So I indulged in this negative self-talk for about 30 minutes. And then I stopped and I took a deep breath, which I believe I was oxygenating my brain. And I heard myself saying, I can do this. I was saying it over and over. I studied, I took the exam a few days later, and I got a C+, which is not a great grade, but it's not an F either. But I did learn something about myself. I got A grades in my physics lab, my chemistry lab, my biochemistry lab, my plant physiology lab, and my ecology lab. So I learned something very important. I love laboratory work, and that kind of helped set my career for me. Then there's the fear of rejection. By spring semester, I found a research lab to work in, and I was enjoying learning all the technologies and techniques of how to identify compounds and proteins in bacteria that cause crown galls to grow on plants. Professor Hsu, my supervisor, showed me how to do this very powerful technology called lamellar gel electrophoresis, which has the ability to sort proteins by size. And after weeks of practice, I finally got it down. I could do this right. So I took it upon myself to write up a detailed protocol. So not only that I could do this again, but others could do this. So I showed the protocol to Professor Hsu. He took it and quietly walked away. And a few days later, he came back and my protocol was covered with corrections in red ink. I have to admit, I was hurt. How could he do this? How could he think, would he dislike this? Did he dislike me? I put so much work and time into that. What I didn't realize is that Professor Hsu did me a huge favor. He edited my protocol, the process that all science do, and I've learned to do it. You edit your work, others edit your work, you edit their work. That's what scientists do all the time. So it was not rejection that I experienced, it was a professional courtesy. It was actually a gift from Professor Hsu. Over the years, I've edited thousands of publications, reports and essays, and all of my 125 publications have been heavily edited by others. Sometimes it hurt, but it was always for the best. Dr. Hsu gave me a gift of professionalism, not rejection. So how about the fear of ridicule? That's a hard one, be ridiculed. How about public ridicule? I was taking an exam in one of my plant biology classes, and Professor Helen Arce, a recent refugee from Castro's Cuba, was walking up and down between the rows of desks. And to my surprise, she stopped at my desk and was looking down at how I was taking this exam. After a few minutes, she said in her heavy and loud Spanish accent, "Rodriguez, you are smart, but you have a lazy brain." The class laughed. Of course, I was embarrassed. I never forgot these words, however. Over the years, I realized that she was right. I had the desire to be a scientist, but I lacked the intellectual rigor needed to be a good scientist. I often think of her comments and how it inspired me to work harder, to think bigger, to check my calculations not once, but twice, maybe 3 times. I wish I could thank Professor Arce personally for the impact she had on my career, but sadly, she passed away a few years ago. There's something I want to say to the parents and the families that are here. There's a fourth fear, fear of letting go. For many of you parents and family members, particularly those with sons and daughters who are leaving for college for the very first time, you may experience this fear of letting go. For example, personal example, I was a postdoctoral fellow at the University of California Medical Center in San Francisco, and I was working late one evening in the lab, and about 11 o'clock I got really hungry, so I decided to take the elevator down to the basement where there's a candy machine. So I was down at the candy machine fumbling for change, and then right next to me was this handsome young Latino medical student in his white lab coat, talking on the payphone. I couldn't help but overhear his conversation, which went something like this: "Mama, I can't come home right now. I have classes I can't miss. I'm scheduled for clinical rotations this week. I'm sorry Tio is sick, but can you ask Primo Eduardo if he can take him to the hospital? Mama, I'm sorry, but I just can't do this right now." That conversation was held over 40 years ago, and I've never forgotten it. And I'm sure that the families and parents here really know what I'm talking about. That emotional tug of war, that push and pull of letting go of your special one, perhaps the first one in the family to go to college. This is difficult. For me, it was not my mother or my father, it was my little brother, whom I raised practically from birth. When I went to graduate school, I left the Fresno area and I left a big hole in my family. When I returned one weekend, my little brother confronted me and asked me, "Ray, why did you abandon us?" I had nothing to say that would help him fill that hole, that sense of loss. Maybe I could have said that one day you'll be really proud of me. So I just want to summarize my comments here with the 4 points. And you've heard many of these points early on. As a graduate of Fresno State and as a member of Dean Meyer's advisory board, I can say with confidence that the great educational opportunity that I experienced decades ago has only gotten better with time. The Valley, the College of Science and Mathematics has emerged as one of the leading colleges in the Central Valley in terms of STEM education. You now know what STEM stands for. As high-tech companies start migrating into the Valley, and Dean Meyer knows that this is happening, there will be increasing opportunities for internships and for employment for students with BA, MS degrees with STEM training. I've seen the salary scales for some of those jobs in the local area, and they're very, very good. 3, if you have sons and daughters, if any of your sons and daughters experience any or all of the fears that I just discussed here at Fresno State, you don't have to worry, because Fresno State has developed a wide range of student support services to ensure that new and continuing students feel safe and can enjoy physical and emotional health while they're pursuing their studies and their career goals. In a few minutes, Professor Gregory Lomack and their student panel will update you on some of the valuable services that are being provided here at Fresno State. I want you to bear in mind that those fears that I mentioned, the 3 fears, were constructs of my mind. There was nothing in the environment that should have triggered those. Those were all my insecurities and fears. So it's important to recognize that right off and be sure to take some of those services, take advantage of some of those services. Lastly, I just want to thank and the host, the invitation to speak here. I want to emphasize that many of the benefits, the services, the academic strengths that you have heard about today are the result of a strong, enlightened leadership from Dean Meyer and his experienced and talented staff, particularly Alam Hassan. So with that, I'll close, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference. I thank you for your attention, and if we have time, I'll be happy to answer questions. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Rodriguez, for that inspiring presentation. And I want to take an opportunity here to remind everyone that you could actually type in questions for our panelists. So I'm sure that Dr. Rodriguez will be very happy to answer any possible questions that you may have. And I actually have a question for you, Dr. Rodriguez, if you don't mind asking. And we're both scientists, and I wanted to know, and I was curious, when did you know that you actually wanted to be a scientist? Can you put the right moment in time when you actually decided that you wanted to be a scientist?
Yes, it was about 5th grade. There was a spare bedroom in our house, and I tried to turn it into a laboratory with some glassware. I don't know where I found it. But I was going to do some science, do some research in the spare bedroom. I don't have any idea what it was. And then also, Alejandro, you know that that era was the era of Sputnik. And so I'm part of the Sputnik generation where Americans had to learn science so that we could compete with the old Soviet Union in space. So I embraced that, and I tried to learn some math, I tried to learn chemistry, some physics, and I blended it all into my career in biological sciences. But Javier, if I can just say one additional thing, I know that there are many wonderful majors in the College of Science and Mathematics, but what I'm seeing as a biologist is a convergence of these majors that we're talking about, particularly the convergence of mathematics and statistics into biology, and the merging of biology into engineering. So it's happening right now. I'm dealing with it right now. I'm part of a grant that's taking a mathematical approach using hidden Markov modeling, which I barely understand, to determine what the next version of the COVID virus is going to be. So those are that. Just wanted to emphasize that we're in an era of merging, of collaboration, team science, interdisciplinary research.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. And perhaps I can use one more minute to ask you a question that came through our feed. And I think it is a wonderful question. And I think that you, with your experience or your long track of achievement, would appreciate this question very much. So the question goes as follows. What should a student do the first week of the semester?
That's a good. Learn where all your classes are. Make sure you have all of your textbooks, that you go to your first class fully prepared, and you learn to manage your time. And that means you can't be on playing video games on your phone all the time. You and your girlfriend are going to have to have schedules where you get together. But time management and preparation are probably the key things to do right at the very beginning. You don't want to walk into the wrong classroom with the wrong textbook and without being prepared for something.
Excellent. I think that that's a wonderful advice. And even though there will be some more questions that are coming in, we're going to leave them for later. We have still a very busy schedule to follow. Thank you very much, Dr. Rodriguez, but stay on that we might be able to get to you with some more questions a little bit later.
Thank you, Javier. Alejandro.
No problem. Okay, so now I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Gregory Lomack, who will share insights on some of the changes and challenges that our students can expect to experience as they transition to college, and how we can all support them during this exciting and challenging time. Dr. Lomack.
Thank you for that introduction, and great afternoon and welcome to the Family Partnership Conference from Provost Sandoval, Dean Myers, Dr. Rodriguez, and your entire Bulldog team. We thank you, parents, for supporting your children, now our students, in qualifying and choosing to be a Bulldog. And we thank you, students, for qualifying and choosing to be a successful Bulldog. We all make choices, and in the end, our choices make us. And freshmen, we want you to know that at the beginning of your life, you look like your parents, and as you live your life, you begin to look like your choices. So your parents and your Bulldog team want to be certain that you continue to make excellent choices. Making a choice to be a successful Bulldog is different from managing your choices to be a successful Bulldog. Put it in a slightly different way. Entrance criteria to become a Bulldog and excellent criteria are two different things, and you have a partnership to help you manage your choices to be a successful Bulldog. Now, I know when you were in high school, you were asked what you wanted to be, and now you're a Bulldog, and let's really start with why you want to be a Bulldog. You belong here. You will thrive here. This is your watch, and your mind is an asset. And that's something we're going to come back to throughout this brief conversation. Now, to be a successful Bulldog has a lot to do with transition from high school and now to what is commonly called higher education. Each of you have had a successful high school career. Some of you graduated choosing not to study or possibly not to open a book. And because of your choices, you may have developed study and behavior patterns that do not equate with being a successful Bulldog. So to study or not to study, this is not the question. You must study. And we, as your Bulldog partners, we encourage you to develop Olympian study habits. We want you to develop a study routine, focus on the application of the information you're learning, and when it comes to hanging out and having fun, that's good, but remember, too much chilling can be a villain to your study habits. In developing a study routine, and most of you are familiar with what we're going to share here, you want to develop priorities. When you look at a week, there's 168 hours in a week. That's the amount of time you have in a week, and you can waste that time. You can choose to kill time. You can trade it. You can even spend your time. But what we encourage you to do is invest your time. We recommend that you study a minimum of 2 hours per week for each class hour. I know you're taking notes, and if you're not taking notes, we suggest you get out your pencil and paper. So if you have 12 units, that means outside of your class time, we're recommending a minimum of 24 hours of study. That's minimum. But we know Olympians, they do the maximum. Olympians do more than the minimum. So here's the math. 168 hours per week minus 28 hours leaves approximately 140 hours remaining in the week. Now, we all have the same 24 hours, and following a time budget, you can choose to be an Olympian with your time. We have provided you with a time budget where you write in your fixed and variable time commitments, and if you need, your parents or counselors can help you with this. Simple. Your fixed time commitments are your classes. As was said earlier, you want to master your class schedule during the first week, and that's what Dr. Rodriguez suggested. Master your class schedule. You want to also put in your fixed study times. Same place, same time routine. Mentor time. Seek out mentors. If you're working full or part-time, put in your work time, and then sleep is overrated. I'm kind of teasing, but sleep is a variable. You can choose to sleep at different times depending on your work and your study schedule. Variable time commitments are very important. These are times to connect with family and friends. Now, freshmen, I'd like you to repeat after me. I belong here. I am thriving here. This is my watch. My mind is an asset. Now, I'll give you time. I belong here. I'm thriving here. This is my watch. My mind is an asset. Now, sometimes you hear us talk about time management. And really, when you think about it, there's no such thing as time management. You manage yourself. The only place, to my knowledge, where you manage time is in a sporting event, at a football game, a soccer match, or a wrestling match. The refs can stop the time, right? But in life, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's about self-management. And here's some simple math for you. And we'd like you to consider placing your friends into 4 categories: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So here's addition. These are friends that help your life. We call them helpers. Subtraction. These are friends that take away from your life. These are sometimes affectionately called haters. Multiplication. These are friends that multiply your life, and they are considered to be helpers. And then there's division. And again, this is simple math. In division, friends, they tend to divide your life. And again, we affectionately call them haters. Those who add and multiply, these are helpers, and they encourage you to be more. Haters encourage you to chill more and to be more distracted. Too much chilling will steal your focus and is a failure habit. Now, what we want to do is be kind to haters. They are often good people who do not have your vision and who do not have your focus, and they do not understand your journey. So again, the fact that you've chosen to be a bulldog, it really doesn't make us better than anyone, but it helps us make bulldog decisions and make bulldog choices. Mentors. Find and establish a relationship with those who understand your focus and who are on or who have been on your journey. These can be your upperclassmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and graduates, and those in your chosen occupation. Additional partners are the Henry Madden Library. You know, it's a great place to hang out and study, even virtually. And your counselors and your professors can show you how to hang out virtually with Mr. Henry Madden. Your professors are very important partners as well. Now, earlier we asked you to get out pencil and paper, and this here is how you are guaranteed to earn a 4.0 grade average plus. So this is what you do. Ask your professor what is required to earn at least an A grade. Remember, we're Olympians. Nothing less than a B. Ha, nothing less than an A. Write down exactly what your professor tells you to do. Master the syllabus. Know your syllabus. If you have any questions about your syllabus, ask your professor. Repeat back to your professor what they tell you. Get confirmation. Then earn it. Do exactly what you have been told to do and more. This is a guaranteed 4.0 plus GPA. This is worth repeating. Ask your professor what's required to earn at least an A. Write down exactly what they tell you. Repeat it back to your professor. That's confirmation. Then earn it. Do exactly what you have been told and more. Next, pull all-nighters. Parents, for your children or students who may be staying at home and the lights are on very late and sometimes they may be talking to themselves, they're pulling all-nighters. Freshmen, I'm going to say this slow. Any papers due that do not require group participation, get them done as early as possible to give yourself more time for group projects. Pull all-nighters. Don't wait until the holidays, because during the holidays, things like food and hanging out begin to call you and distract you from what you said you were going to do during the holidays. Pull all-nighters. Procrastination is suicide. No procrastination. Now, as high school students, again, some of us were very smart and we didn't have to study, and some of us made the cut without even opening a book. That has changed for you now. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The shortest distance between admission and graduation is fewer distractions. We want you to become very mindful of your choices. What are some weapons of mass destruction? Too much social media. How much is too much? You know how much is too much when it's distracting you from your study time. Too much chilling. How much is too much chilling? When chilling becomes something you do instead of your study time. Too much partying. How much is too much partying? You know how much too much partying in, and I don't know how we party in a virtual world, but this is only temporary. You will be back on campus, and yes, you can find parties at California State University, Fresno. We encourage you to set your priorities and minimize and eliminate the distractions. Freshmen, repeat after me. I belong here. I am thriving here. This is my watch. My mind is an asset. I can hear you. Many of you have written that down. I belong here. I am thriving here. This is my watch. My mind is an asset. Let's talk about money for a moment. Your money matters. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Some of you will be working full-time and a student. Some of you will work part-time and a student. Whatever you earn, save a portion. I know your parents have said that to you, and we as part of your Bulldog partnership team, we're going to say the same thing, save a portion. If you receive financial aid in the form of scholarships, grants, or loans, save a portion. We recommend you save maybe 10%. Simple math. If you earn or receive $1,000, save 100. If you receive $2,000, save 200. If you earn $50, save $5. Develop the savings habit. Act your wage. Everything you see in the media or what your friends and classmates have may not be for you. Get on and stay on a budget. No, this is not something that only your parents do. This is something you do. As a matter of fact, you're adults now, and it's time for you to get on a budget. A sample budget has been provided for you. Rent books and save. Consider renting books from some of the following book rental places and your counselors. You do great homework. You can find out some of those places where you can rent books from, especially in your general ed. There's places called cheapesttextbooks.com, Chegg, Student to Student, Textbook Rush, Alibris, Bookscouter, Bookfinder.com, and many others. These are places that you can go to rent a book and save money. What we're going to share now is a little touchy, but I thought we should talk about it. It's about pizza. Do not finance the pizza. The big four: Visa, MasterCard, Citibank, and Chase invested over $2.8 billion a year in advertising to influence us to go into debt. That's $2.8 billion a year. Now, freshmen, a debit card has the same protection as a credit card. Read the fine print. Freshmen, if you cannot afford it, you probably do not need it. Do not finance the pizza. Here's some interesting math facts. Right now, the United States national debt is $24 trillion. That was as of May 1st of this year. Student loan debt is $1.56 trillion as of May 1st of this year. In comparison, student loan debt is 6.5% of the national debt. And I know this is the College of Science and Math, and you probably can figure this out a lot faster than I could. $1.56 trillion, this could buy 7.8 million people a $200,000 home apiece. Now, it takes homework. Talk to your counselors. There are debt-free ways to attend college. Let's be wiser with our money matters. And I know for some of you, probably all of you freshmen, in the mail, you're being advertised to by credit card companies. I'm not saying credit cards are bad. I'm saying we want to make wise choices with those tools. You're a leader. I know you probably thought you were a freshman, you qualified and chose to be a Bulldog, and I'm just going to go to class. Well, listen, freshmen, as a leader, you lead yourself first. Respect your parents. Make and manage your choices. Focus on your priorities. Develop a study routine. Follow a time budget. Focus on application. In your classes, focus on how you can apply the information. We do not want you to become a library. We have the Henry Madden Library. Your goal is to take the information and ask yourself, how can I apply it? And be kind to haters. Eliminate distractions. Mind your money. And what we want you to do is to be solution focused, even if you failed. I think it was Dr. Rodriguez who has an amazing, innovative, solution solving mind. So we're in a pandemic. There's a virus that none of us have seen. It's a science problem. You can solve it. This is your watch. Learn from your failures and mistakes. Failing a project or a test does not mean that you are a failure. It means that you have learned something that does not work, similar to Thomas Edison. All of us know what Thomas Edison said. He didn't find 9,999 failures. He found 9,999 things that did not work. What if he would have stopped? This Zoom would be in the dark. So lastly, parents and freshmen, we want you to know, and for the last time, we're going to ask you to repeat after me. I belong here. I am thriving here. This is my watch. My mind is an asset. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Lomack. That was a wonderful presentation with a lot of great advice. I'm sure I'm going to keep coming back to you to ask for some more information to share with our freshmen. We do have some time for questions, so we would love to open to remind you to put your questions in the Q&A box. If you have questions for Dr. Lomack, please put them there. To start, I do have a question for you, Dr. Lomack. Do you have any strategies or advice on how to find those mentors and helpers?
Yes, I would just ask, and this is, freshmen, don't be afraid to ask someone to help you. When it comes to your upperclassmen, I am going to say this, find the students that have A's. Find the students that have earned A's. Now, on the flip side, there may be students who earn C's and B's and now they've become A students. They can talk to you about the challenges that they've overcome. When it comes to the professionals who are already working in the fields or industries that you might consider, have your counselor. Better yet, you do the research if it's a chemist, if it's a biochemist, if it's a psychologist, connect with them, do your research, and this is what they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you exactly what they do. And if exactly what they do is not what you want to do, then it may be time to consider either one, a different mentor, or to a different major. So again, reach out to classmates, your upperclassmen, and then, pardon me, reach out to those who are already working in the profession.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. So, and I love your idea about making great choices. That's something my mom actually used to say to me when I was growing up, especially as I became more of an adult and switched during this transition. So do you have any advice for families of students to help them make good choices and to support the choices that they are making?
That's a great question. Parents, on occasion, because students are making the transition from K-12, where they had a bell schedule, they had lunch breaks, they had a system where they were really not too independent. Well, now they're going to be completely independent. Yes, your Bulldog partnership team, we care about if your students come to class, but they're going to have a lot more freedom now. And sometimes that's confusing. I know sometimes the high school students have what we call separation anxiety. They want the bell. They want to hang out with their friends at the quad. So parents, when your children, now our students sometimes feel like, I'm confused, I'm not certain about what I'm doing, and if they're at home, they close the door, just knock on the door. Honey, are you okay? Just check on them. They're going through some changes that they may not quite understand yet. So stay connected, and on occasion, I would suggest this, even if your child or student says, Mom and Dad, I don't want to go, help them turn off the study sometime. Force them to get in the car with you and take them to In-N-Out Burger. Just connect with them. They're going through an interesting, but we think a very positive and constructive time. So just be there for them. When they make faces, put them in the car and take them to get a hamburger.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Lomack.
You're welcome.
We are going to move on with the presentation for today, but I did want to answer one of the questions that we had coming in live about when will we receive class Zoom meeting links. I haven't heard from any instructors or anything in my email that provided them. So as an instructor, I can tell you a little bit about what to expect. Next week, you might start seeing your courses show up in Canvas, which is our learning management system. So that's the website and the platform that we use to manage our classes, and that's where all the information is going to be. So you should see some more information popping up in Canvas next week, and you should get some email information. So the first day of classes is Wednesday, so depending on what day your classes meet, you should get some information early next week when we are all officially back working, most of us working remotely. Okay, we are going to move on to our next part of the presentation. So we brought together a panel of 5 of our current students from across the College of Science and Mathematics to provide some words of advice and encouragement to the families of our new students. I would now like to introduce Lilia de la Cerda, Director of the Health Careers Opportunity Program and the Louis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation Program, who will moderate our student panel. And go ahead and turn on your videos, student panel members. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Brady. Welcome, everyone. So as I'm just waiting for our student panelists to go ahead and turn on their camera and their microphone. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to be joining this conference today to welcome you and be able to have our students share, our current students share a little bit of advice with you. What we'll plan to do is we're going to go ahead and have each panelist introduce themselves, their name, their high school they attended, their major, and their current career goal. So I'll go ahead and call on their name, and then they can go ahead and start. So why don't we go ahead and start with you, Alyssa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alyssa Latinero, and I am originally from Visalia, California, where I attended Redwood High School. I graduated from there back in 2016, and I actually just graduated from Fresno State with my BA in Natural Science with an emphasis in chemistry. So I'm starting my next chapter at Fresno State by entering the single subject credential program with a chemistry emphasis this semester.
Great, thank you, Alyssa. Why don't we go ahead and go over to Jacob?
Hi, everybody, and welcome. My name is Jacob Papalian. I am from Clovis North High School. I graduated there from 2017. I'm a biochemistry major in my last year here at Fresno State, and in this year I hope to apply and go to medical school following Fresno State.
Excellent, thank you, Jacob. Giovanni, can you go ahead and take a minute to introduce yourself?
My name is Giovanni, and I graduated from Cellular Union High School. I'm a double major in psychology and Chicano American studies, and I'm looking to attend a doctoral program in social or developmental psychology.
Thank you, Giovanni. How about Josette?
Hi, everyone. My name is Josette Dwyer. I graduated from Bullard High School back in 2018. I am currently a third-year biology major with a minor in animal science. And with my degree, I hope to become a zoologist or a zookeeper.
Thank you, Josette. And Chelsea.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chelsea. I graduated from Duncan Polytechnical High School in 2017. My current major is psychology, and I plan to become a clinical psychologist focusing on children and young adults.
Great, thank you, Chelsea. Wonderful, thank you so much to all our panelists for introducing yourselves. I think what we'll go ahead and do now is we'll go ahead and have some questions here for you. There's a couple of parts to our question, so we'll go ahead and have you share some of the activities that you have that you've participated in that have enhanced your experience at Fresno State. And also, if you can give any advice that you wish you would have had as an incoming student, and share any tips. So why don't we go ahead and start with Alyssa?
So the most valuable experience that I had during my time at Fresno State was getting involved in an early start career program through the College of Science and Mathematics. And what this career program allowed me to do in particular was enter our Valley classrooms 3.5 years earlier than I would in a credential program. And it allowed me to really see how I would want to apply the discipline that I was studying, and whether or not teaching was something that I could see myself being passionate about for the rest of my time in the career field. So what I would encourage all of you to start looking into is, if you have a specific discipline in mind, or you have a specific passion that you know that you want to pursue in STEM, look for early start career opportunities, or look for clubs, or look for professor-led research groups that you can join on campus that will allow you to hands-on participate in those disciplines. It'll also expose you to other people that share those interests, so you'll be able to kind of expand your network, which is really great. The biggest piece of advice that I wish I could give like freshman me back in 2016 would have been to understand how to communicate concisely and effectively with professors. I think going in, I was really afraid to try and communicate with my professors. And the thing about Fresno State professors that makes them incredible is that all of them want to see you succeed and grow as students and professionals. And so they really want you to reach out and communicate with them. This semester is going to look a little different than some of your future semesters will. And so a lot of the communication will happen through email. And so I would recommend really looking into how to send a good professional email. that will allow you to get your questions and concerns answered by your professors and your peers.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for that wonderful advice and tips. We'll go ahead and have Jacob, give Jacob an opportunity.
Thank you, Lilia. So one of the things that I'm glad I did as an incoming freshman to Fresno State is taking advantage of supplemental instruction in the Learning Center that's offered at the basement of the library. Don't worry, those are all still in place, but virtual. And one of the main things is I connected very closely with my peers within the first day of class. And what I did is I started to form study groups, and you guys can do that virtually as well. You guys can maybe, if you notice someone that you went to high school with that's in your biology class, please reach out to them, start a group chat, or see if they know anybody that wants to form a study group. That's a very important thing to help you in your first year. Study groups, I can't emphasize how important they are. Maybe you don't know something, but someone else does, and you can just share it and have a collection of all these ideas and teach each other the material that maybe you weren't able to go to your professor's office hours, or aren't able to because you're working a lot, or whatever the case may be. Your peers are the best support on top of everything else that the university has to offer. Your professor, reaching out to my professors, I know they can be a little bit intimidating, but they are here to help you be successful. So do not hesitate to reach out to them, go to their office hours, and make sure that you talk to them so you know exactly what their expectations of as a student in their course is. An advice that I wish I had as an incoming student is being able to navigate and understand all the resources that are offered onto this campus. I am a first generation college student, so I had to do a little bit of digging myself to find out all these fantastic resources that this university has to offer. So just being aware of the Fresno State website, because we are virtual, and look up some resources that the campus has to offer. And peer mentoring support. Reach out to, it doesn't have to be an assigned peer mentor, reach out to a mentor someone that you see as a mentor, whether that's a friend, a mutual friend that you know that has gone through the same path that you are going, or maybe reaching out to a faculty member that you are interested in what their research is. Maybe they can hire you on as a research assistant. Tips to help with transition. The most important thing is time management, you guys. Make a weekly study schedule, make a daily schedule to help you stay on task. And these are the things that once you do them, they become an automatic thing that you do every single semester. And always remember, there is a solution to everything. Do not worry. There are people here to help you and support you and help you be successful throughout your first year here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob, for that valuable advice as well. Thank you very much. So, okay, we'll move over to Yvonne. We'll go ahead and have Yvonne share some advice and tips.
So, for when I was an incoming freshman, I'm in the Equal Opportunity Program, also known as EOP. And as a freshman, I really took advantage of that program. I spoke a lot with my EOP counselor, because they knew a lot of resources, and I was able to not be afraid to ask them questions, especially since I'm first generation college and I didn't really know the campus, and so they were really helpful in telling me what like look at the campus. And definitely, like Jacob said, time management is important as well. I know, for instance, to this day, I'm still practicing time management, and also little pockets of money throughout campus, scholarships. The Fresno State General Scholarship is always open, or at least on it before it officially. And also, if you're interested in psychology major, and I became interested in research, so I went to faculty and ended up finding my mentor department. And due to her, she was an available resource that will help me get into programs where I do summer research and get more research experience preparing for graduate studies. And so, yeah, pretty much it.
Thank you, Giovanni, for sharing. Very much appreciated. Okay, Chelsea, we'll go ahead and if you can share some tips and advice and things that you were glad you participated in.
So one thing I'm glad I did as an incoming student was join the Fresno State page on Facebook. And because I was able to always like ask for advice on classes that I was going to be taking, and I was able to purchase books on there, and then I was also able to meet people that were going to be in my classes and that would benefit my academic success because I was able to get formed for those classes. And for the advice I wish I had gotten before I went to Fresno State was when you're enrolling for your classes this semester, always make sure to add 3 or 4 classes for each of the class you're trying to get into. Make sure you get at least into one of them so you're not scrambling last minute to class and getting all stressed out for nothing. And my tips would be don't procrastinate. Things get due like really fast and you forget that you have to turn it in. And that's it.
Great, thank you, Chelsea. Wonderful. Thank you so much to all our panelists. We do have a couple of questions. If we can go ahead and maybe have Jacob answer, maybe address campus clubs. There's a question regarding how they're going to work. We'll start with you, Jacob, but if you've been involved with any of the campus clubs, and also we have a question regarding the Early Start Career Program, and I know, Alyssa, you mentioned this, so we'll also give you a chance to address that.
So on the topic of clubs are, we do have some clubs that are out in the middle as you're walking to the library, but since we are virtual, I would recommend navigating the Fresno State webpage to see the list of clubs that are offered. I'm a part of the Armenian Studies organization here on campus. So I would recommend navigating the Fresno State website and seeing there is a page on there that will give you a list of the clubs that are offered onto campus and ways that you guys can get involved virtually. Sub-clubs might take a little bit more time to transition their meetings virtually, but I'm sure that there will be some clubs that you'll find interesting that you can join. I hope that answers the question.
Excellent. Thank you, Jacob. Alyssa, go ahead.
So in regard to where to start with finding your Early Start Career Program opportunity, the best place to go to is the ARC Center. So our counseling center for the College of Science and Mathematics. One of the things that makes Fresno State wonderful is that it has so many resources, but that can be really overwhelming for brand new students on campus. And so our counselors are there to support you and to support your career goals. And so they're going to be able to guide you to the different programs that we have available for you. It was the first step that I took 3.5, 4 years ago now, was going into the ARC Center and telling somebody, hey, I really want to teach. It's something I'm really passionate about. What can I do to start that? Am I on the right career path right now? Am I getting the right degree? And somebody that you've heard from a couple times today, Dr. Jaime Arvizu, was actually the individual who helped me kind of get involved and really solidify my passion for teaching. So they're great resources, they're great people, and they're there to help you. So schedule your appointment as soon as you can. I know they're doing virtual appointments right now, which is really great. So you can do this from the comfort of your own home.
Thank you, Alyssa. And I want to go ahead and apologize to Josette. Josette, I want to circle back and make sure that you have an opportunity to share some of the activities that have enhanced your experience at Fresno State, and then things that you wish you would have been part of as an incoming or taken advantage of as an incoming student, and any other tips. So please, Josette, take a few minutes to share.
It's no worries. Okay, so when I first got into Fresno State, before I actually pursued my minor in animal science, I was actually a music minor. And I was really grateful for the experiences and the memories that I had created within their department, and the many people that I had met and the friends that I've made and still continue to have. So you don't have to just stay within the College of Science and Math. you can also branch out and pursue any of your interests within any other college or department. Some advice that I wish that I had had when I first started at Fresno State was knowing my limits. And what I mean by that is don't try to bombard yourself with a lot of units or classes within your first year, just to try to get ahead or graduate faster. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't challenge yourself, but don't do so to the point where it will start to jeopardize your grades or your GPA. Just make sure to pace yourself at first and gradually build on as you go, because it is really important that you keep your GPA up within your first year. Something that definitely helped me with my transition from high school to college was to stop comparing myself to others. Everyone succeeds differently and at different paces. Just because someone may have gotten a better test score than you doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't flourish. Make sure you stay within your lane and just focus on what you need to do personally to succeed. By comparing yourself to others, you're only hurting yourself and blinding your own accomplishments.
Thank you, Josette, for that very valuable advice. Thank you so much. So we do have a few more questions that we can, I'll go ahead and ask some of you to address. So if there's anything that you wish your family had known about being a STEM major when you were first starting at Fresno State, that would have made the transition a little easier. Josette, do you want to go ahead and address that?
Well, I would say because my brother was already a STEM major before I started, so they already knew about the long hours and how just trying these majors really are. It takes a lot of time and dedication. So I would say just one piece of advice, especially to parents, just be patient. It's going to take some time, and just keep pushing them to do their best, because they're going to want to give up at some point because it's going to get super hard, but just keep pushing them, because in the end, it's really going to be worth it.
Thank you, Josette. Any of the other panelists would like to add to that?
I think it's really important to make sure that they know your schedule. Maybe I like to make a list of my, like when I have meetings or when I have Zoom sessions, and I post it on the refrigerator. The most important thing when transitioning is, especially because we're all from home, is just knowing when that you need time to study. You need these set hours that you set for yourself during the day to study, and making sure that the people who live with you understand those hours and are, maybe they know not to come into your room. They know to be a little bit aware of these long hours, as Josette mentioned. Being a STEM major is a big transition. And with the being a first generation college student, I had to have a sit down with my parents and say, look, I'm going to have some long hours. I'm going to not be able to come to some parties, like family get-togethers, because I will need to stay and study. And just the most important thing is making sure that the people you live with and your loved ones are aware of the time commitment that you need as a STEM major, and making sure that you establish that beforehand. And parents, be supportive. Like Josette said, they are going to want to quit at some point. I've been guilty of that, but just make sure that you keep pushing them to be the best that they can possibly be.
Thank you, Jacob. Really appreciate that. We have another question. So if you're involved in research with a professor, how did you get involved in research, and how did you reach out to that professor? Giovanni, would you like to go ahead and take that?
Yeah, I'll take that question. For me, luckily the psych major has a course that you have to take where it introduces you to what kind of career paths that the psychology major can take you in. And that was really helpful. I told the professor I was interested in research. And so she advised me to go on the psychology website and look at the faculty, and to look at the research interest, and to see who was it that aligned with what I was wanting to look at or focus in. And for instance, I saw Dr. Rosa Toro. She works with immigrant families. Because of my background, I personally related to that type of research. And so it was valuable research. I contacted her, we spoke, and I've been a research assistant for her research lab for the past 2 years. And she's been a good help and helped me with a lot of graduate stuff. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Giovanni. Any other of our student panelists would like to address that question regarding how to reach out to faculty when you're interested in working with them in their labs or projects?
I would recommend looking on their website or the faculty directory. Just look up their name and they'll have a website. Most likely, if they're running research, they'll have a website on there. You can click that website. You can look at what kind of research that they're involved in and what interests you. And if you find a professor that you like to do research with because it's having to do with like your career goal. Like, for example, I work with Dr. Corey Brooks here on campus, and I want to go into the medical field. So we're doing cancer-related research. And that was something that appealed to me. And I saw that as an open opportunity, and he was accepting new students into his lab. So I sent him an email saying that I'm really interested and want to set up a meeting with him to get to know a little bit more about what this project entails and if I'm able to complete all these requirements. And just show that you're interested, show that you're really passionate and you want to be in their lab, and set up a meeting. Talk about your career goals and how you can use their lab and those experiences to help you achieve them.
Thank you, Jacob. We also have another question from these student participants regarding access to, immediate access textbooks and how to go ahead and access that. Do you have any suggestions for that? How does immediate access work is the question. And is it better than buying an actual textbook? So if anybody has advice or suggestions on that, I don't know if you've had experience with that, Jacob.
So immediate access, if anybody else wants to chime in, I've only had one class with immediate access. So Alyssa, please.
I can kind of chime in a little. I hope faculty will jump in if I'm saying this wrong. But the way immediate access works is that when you receive your syllabus for a class, which is really important for you guys to look over when you do receive them, it's like the first thing you should do with all of your classes is read the syllabus. But on that syllabus, there will be links for PDFs for textbooks that you will use during that course. And so the idea of the immediate access is that you're already being charged for those books through your billing at Fresno State. And I think it's a charge that's included in your tuition, but I could be wrong there. But essentially what it is that's a textbook that your professor has decided to use for the course. It's a lot cheaper than having to buy like a $500 chemistry textbook that you only use for one semester. So it's a really great resource that Fresno State is offering. A lot of professors are starting to use it now. It does require that you're able to view the textbook through a digital platform. But I prefer that just because it means that I can download it onto my computer and I have it with me wherever I am. So it really opens up this new horizon of studying in my mind. So it's a great resource that Fresno State's allowing their students to have right now.
Great. Thank you, Alyssa, for that. Actually, also on the point of being involved in research, just as a reminder, this is a great opportunity for students to take a look at our virtual tours. Some of our students that are highlighted in our virtual tours that will be available to you through the link in our event conference website. Please make sure you take a look at that and spend some time visiting our virtual tours. Thanks, Alyssa. And then the last question, we have just a few more minutes. To wrap things up here with our student panel, any tips or advice on how to stay focused and do well with virtual instruction? I know all of you have shared some tips with our students, but we are in a very interesting time. So any tips that you can share with regards to being able to stay focused during this virtual instruction time? Alyssa, do you want to go ahead and take that one? And then we'll also give everybody a chance to address that.
Sure. So when I had to transition last semester into the digital learning environment, the number one thing that I kind of required myself to do was to create a routine for myself. And the routine changed from what I normally had when I was taking in-person classes, but I still set that routine. And so I wasn't just waking up 10 minutes before my class was to start, because your brain doesn't have time to start processing information if you do that. So give yourself an hour before a class and make sure you're up and you're aware and you've had breakfast. And then when you're in class, I always try to make it similar to how the classroom environment was in person. And so I was still actively taking notes. I was still actively asking questions. My phone was away, which is really hard and tempting to have out when you're in an online environment, but it really can make your studies suffer if you allow it to just kind of be an ever-present device on your desk while you're taking these online classes this semester. So really just setting up that routine for yourself will help immensely.
Thanks, Alyssa. Jacob, any parting advice with regards to adjusting to this virtual instruction?
Sure. Thank you, Lilia. Kind of piggybacking on what Alyssa said, setting a routine is very important. In addition to the routine, make sure that when you're studying or listening to a lecture or you're participating in classwork, whatever it may be, making sure that the environment that you're in is quiet, it's organized, and it's well lit as much as possible. Making sure that a thing that I like to do with the phones is put my phone on do not disturb, or even put my phone in a different room, just so we're not tempted to go and grab it and maybe check a text message or check an Instagram post or whatever it may be. Just making sure that you guys do this to make sure you're fully focused and you guys are kind of in that, mimicking that classroom environment, and making sure that when you are taking a test online, and if you live with others around you, you are making sure that you tell them that, hey, I'm taking a test from 1:30 to 2:30. If you guys can keep it a little bit quiet and no one like come in, or if you are able to lock the door, just to make sure that you are fully focused on that exam. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jacob. Giovanni, any final tips, especially now that we're with virtual instruction?
Well, same as what Alyssa and Jacob, pretend that you're getting ready to drive out there to campus or walk to your next class, dress up and be prepared. And, you know, that puts you in the mindset that, oh, I'm going to class, I got to focus, put your phone away, face it, do not disturb. And pretty much also make sure you eat snacks, especially brain food such as like blueberries, nuts, stuff like that, because it'll keep you concentrated throughout the course. And pretty much, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni, and definitely reaching out to those professors. Any tips, Josette or Chelsea, on reaching out to professors during this virtual time?
I would just say try and email your professors as soon as possible, just because I'm sure that they're getting bombarded with all these emails from all their students. So it tends to get overwhelming. So just make sure to get email them as soon as possible, as soon as you have a question, hopefully before the due date of any assignment that you have, just so they have enough time to get back to you, answer you.
Thank you so much for that advice. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you once again to all our student panelists. We very much appreciate your time, and we hope that our student participants, I'm sure you found some very helpful tips for this. So now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Calderon Urea.
Oh, great. Lilia, thank you so much. And thank you to the entire panel for your thoughtful insights. This has been very rewarding. I'm sure that all the students and families can appreciate this. And I just wanted to mention a couple of things. I know that Mara and I speak for the entire College of Science and Mathematics. If the students need any help, just reach out to us and we'll do our best to help you in whatever it is that we can actually help you with. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that all the questions that have come in will be answered and will be posted as well, so that everyone has actually a chance to see what the answers to those very, very amazing questions were. And finally, I just wanted to highlight the fact that these students are one of the things that make me proud to be a faculty in the College of Science and Mathematics in Fresno State. How amazing, how well-spoken, cool, focus, and this is one of the highlights of our college and university. And with that, I would like to invite Dr. Chris Meyer again to provide a few closing thoughts. Dr. Meyer?
Thank you, Alejandro. So I've really profoundly enjoyed this time and together. Been able to learn a bit about you, where you're from, your majors, and I can see that we have a great, rich, and diverse entering class, and I can't wait to interact with you further. Want to really thank all our speakers and panelists for your great thoughts, advice, and reflections, and really excited for the days to come. I hope you've enjoyed the previews and virtual tours if you participated in that, and found this conference, engaging and enlightening. It's been great to share the information about our college, and really proud of all the members of our college, and all these behind-the-scenes people that are making this seem so seamless and smooth. And so we look forward to working with you as you advance toward your degree and a rewarding career. A whole new world awaits you here, and we're excited about you joining our community and network, and it'll be wonderful to meet you in person, for sure. We realize that starting college at any time would be daunting and challenging, but especially right now when we feel more isolated and disconnected than before due to the pandemic. Keep in mind that it is STEM graduates that are playing a major role in treatments and vaccine development. So you're on a very meaningful path. And to paraphrase Dr. Gregory here, this is your watch, this is your time. We're here to support students and family, and are prepared to provide the best education and training for our students to be successful, remote at first and for now, and in person when it's safe to return. We aspire to deliver the research experiences and their interdisciplinary training that will empower the next generation of STEM professionals to collaboratively solve complex regional and global challenges. So this is your watch, this is your time. Sometimes our students may think that because of where they come from, or what they look like, or what someone says, that they're not meant to be scientists and mathematicians. Nothing could be further from the truth. Science advances when we bring together diverse teams with different expertise, perspectives, and experiences that can look and solve problems in new, innovative, and creative ways. Your diverse backgrounds, cultures, perspectives, and experiences are strengths that you bring to the table. They're not weaknesses. You belong here. You will thrive here. We hope that Dr. Ray Rodriguez has inspired you all to dream about where your students' careers may take them, and the many positive impacts they can have on the world. Similarly, we hope that Dr. Greg Lomack and our student panel have empowered you to better understand what your college experiences will be like, and the steps that you can take together for a strong start on the path to realizing those dreams. The success of our college is more than just teaching and research activities and achievements. It's really about the development of human capital and the rising and advancing of the next generation of 21st century STEM professionals and educators. We're very proud of the accomplishments of our alumni. They've gone on to outstanding graduate programs and professional schools, exciting industry jobs as really part of an in-demand workforce. This is your time. Our graduates are having a great impact on the Central Valley and beyond as teachers, scientists, doctors, and a great deal of other professions. We look forward to working with you and celebrating your achievements in the future. So it's been really an all-hands-on-deck approach, and It's been a great team to work with, and we're here for you. So today is just, again, the beginning of our partnership. And in a moment, Mara and Alejandro will take us through some of the next steps, and we always welcome your input and suggestions. So Excelsior.
Thanks again, Dean Meyer. And thank you for your leadership on inspiring us to, draw on these diverse perspectives and backgrounds and different disciplines to come together to come up with the most creative solutions to real world problems. So you've heard a lot of themes about working together with other people today and drawing on your support network. So we want to continue that partnership for sure. So as we draw to a close, we would like to look ahead to what's next and how we can continue to be engaged with each other. So please look out for an email from us that you should receive this afternoon. We will invite you to provide some feedback on our time together today. That will be really helpful as we plan for future events and what would be most helpful for everyone. The email will also invite you to join our new Facebook group exclusively made for our College of Science and Mathematics family partners. This will keep you up to date on what's going on in the college, provide some information on upcoming partnership events, and will allow you to connect with us to provide suggestions for improvements, as well as input on how things are going. So we also encourage you to visit our CSM Family Partnership website, designed for you to learn more about the programs and services that support our students' success. As Lilia mentioned, you can also take immersive 360 tours of our departments and research labs since we weren't able to be together on campus today. And we'll be updating and changing the information on that website over the year. So please check back regularly to see what's new.
And you might also be interested in our blog, where we can find, or you can find some of the latest news from the college, as well as stories about our amazing students and faculty.
That is the end of our program for today. On behalf of us in the College of Science and Mathematics, thank you again for taking time to join us. Your encouragement and support of your students' education is critical for their success. We hope that you enjoyed our time together and feel a little better prepared for what's next. Remember that this is just the beginning of our partnership, and we look forward to working with you over the coming years and to celebrating with you 4 years from now when your students cross that graduation stage. Goodbye for now and have a great afternoon. Thank you all for coming.
And goodbye for now from me, and have a great afternoon. And of course, a wonderful and very productive semester to our new students. Bye.